Welcome to Healthcare Sucks. This is the early morning edition. We're going to jump right into it today. Lots going on, guys.
In less than 30 minutes, pubs, gyms, cinemas, casinos and churches across the country will be closed as part of the nationwide shutdown. People have been queuing for hundreds of metres outside Centrelink offices in a scramble to keep a roof over their heads. Victorian schools are now closed, while New South Wales and Queensland campuses will remain open today. The Australian share market has dived in early trade despite moves to help cushion the economic blow, and the death toll in Italy has surpassed 5,000, with almost 330,000 infections worldwide. As life gets more restricted for Australians, the Prime Minister has issued a wartime-style plea to all of us. Straight now to Jonathan Kersley in Canberra. Jonathan, Scott Morrison warns it's going to be the toughest year of our lives.
A quite extraordinary speech, Mark. The Prime Minister spoke of dark times, many people out of work, wars and the Great Depression, a sign really how deep this crisis could get. Effectively, as you said, it was a wartime plea to the nation, only this time the enemy is a virus, not a country. Scott Morrison urged Australians to summon the spirit of Anzacs, of those who endured the Great Depression, built the Snowy and saved Australia during the Second World War. It was a rallying cry as he called for care and compassion and respect. The opposition leader Anthony Albanese also spoke of the pain that will come in the months ahead, but called for Australians to have faith because life as we know it is changing by the day. The Prime Minister says this virus will be with us for 6 months at least. It will be a year, many don't forget, and the Prime Minister had a stark warning.
We must resolve today as Australians to come together and to pledge to each other across our nation that this coronavirus will not break our Australian spirit. So together, and with the rest of the world, we face this unprecedented challenge, a once-in-a-100-year event, a global health pandemic that has fast become an economic crisis, the likes of which we have not seen since the Great Depression. Life is changing in Australia for every Australian, and life is going to continue to change. For many, young and old, 2020 will be the toughest year of our lives.
Mark, Parliament is sitting to pass the government's economic support package. Job seeker allowance will be doubled to $1,100 per person per fortnight, and welfare checks for those on the pension and family tax benefit will be sent out in 2 rounds of $750 from the end of this month. There'll be billions more for business to keep people in jobs and slow the predicted rise of unemployment. This is not a stimulus package, it is very much a survival package. The National Cabinet decided last night that effective from midday today, that is under an hour from now, gyms, pubs, bars, nightclubs will all close. By 12:01, thousands of people will effectively be out of a job. And these are from measures the Prime Minister referred to as stage 1. Stage 2, they don't know what that looks like yet. The Prime Minister said further restrictions are likely to be imposed as the government tries to find a way to slow the spread of the coronavirus. That could include locking down cities, suburbs, even streets or buildings, isolating people in their homes. The Prime Minister is preparing the country for what could be about to come.
No more sitting down for brunch at a cafe. These changes are vital to slow the spread of this virus to save lives. As the virus spreads, and it will, governments around Australia will not be complacent and may need and are likely to need to impose further restrictions on our daily lives.
And Mark, with parents worrying about whether to send their children to school or keep them home, with the schools are even open, wondering how they'll cope without a job, the Prime Minister's message was about trying to instill a message of strength and a sense of calm. He said it would be a test for the nation, for all Australians, but he's pleading with all of us to work together.
Jonathan Kersley in Canberra, thank you. Well, lines are stretching for hundreds of metres outside Centrelink offices around the country amid the panic over today's nationwide shutdown. People who have never had access to Centrelink now rushing to secure a roof over their heads. Daniel Post is outside one of the centres in Sydney.
this is the reality for so many Australians. We're here at the Burwood Centrelink office, which is right behind me, but this is the queue. It stretches from there all the way around, and last count there were around 150 people in this queue, and it is growing by the minute. A lot of people here are highly qualified. I've spoken to a chef who's worked for 20 years and has currently got no work and does not know when work will resume again for him. So he's here to see what his options are. There are makeup artists, window washers, many professionals who have never had to ask for help before.
I've always found it easy to find work. At the moment, there's absolutely nothing around. So I'm applying for everything and getting no callbacks.
As a window cleaner, I don't know what sort of work basically we're going to have in the future. So just want to find out some questions, that's all.
There's also uncertainty about exactly what will happen in the coming days, in the coming weeks, and so people wanted to come today to know what their future might look like. Many people I've spoken to, as I've said, have never asked for help, so they have to actually physically be here at the office to present their papers and to start the ball rolling on any help that they might be able to receive from the government. The office here is letting people in one by one, but this queue started well before 8:30 and it is growing by the minute.
Daniel Post there. Well, there's more pain on the Australian share market, plunging by up to 8% at the opening of trade. Tech companies such as Afterpay, which made big gains during last week's chaos, are among the big losers this morning.
And
The census kept
sorry,
us
guys.
all, and an accurate count helps inform more billions.
It's
throughout the
early.
year.
I'm slow. I'm slow anyway.
It's good test to be corrected.
Shape your future. Start
Are
here
you
at
kidding me,
2020census.gov.
guys? What the heck? Okay. With that gives you an idea what's coming to America. When it's over there, it's coming here. It's just going to be a little tweaked, a little different. I did like the way they called it a survival package rather than a stimulus and stuff. And I think that's what we need to, our president and our people need to get through their heads. It's a survival package. And let me clarify one more time. For all, one for all for one package. If we're going to bail out the banks and the stock markets and all these others with trillions of dollars, everybody from seniors, disabled, mentally ill, homeless, local Joe, your neighbor, Joanne, your neighbor, average Joanne, average Joe, we all need it across the board. Especially when I heard yesterday that they were going to give it to people drawing salaries. Some of those people make up $75,000 a year and going to get this money too. I don't think so, guys. So get ready to put your boots on and fight, because there's a war coming. It's a war for us to get what we need and what we deserve. If the damn banks are going to get it again and Wall Street's going to get it, then damn right we're going to get our cut. Remember one thing, guys. First of all, thank you, Team 99. Thank you for tuning in. We use the Fair Use Act. Nothing is real. We're not heading towards a depression, are we? Yeah, we are. Real fast, too. Back on cue. Remember one thing, guys. The Occupy movement, we are the 99%. There's a really killer movie called Bug's Life. It's a kid movie. Watch it sometimes. Just watch the little intro. Go to, type it in your thing and watch the intro, and they'll talk about the ants versus the grasshoppers. Well, there's a hell of a lot of ants. That's us. Grasshoppers, 1%. Get the idea? Once they figured it out, guess what? They turned the tide. We can turn the tide. Don't ever forget who you are. You are one of the 99%. Here, you're called Team 99. And we thank you for being part of Team 99. We love you. Stay safe. I might get a couple more videos out this morning, depending if I can relax and get a couple hours downtime. Love you all. Stay safe. This crazy lockdown thing looks like it's heading our way. I mean, We've got people panicking in the cities, coming to the beaches. We've got people over here towards the coast putting signs out, go home. We've got people locking down areas. We got people people talking about falling trees across the road, blocking it with semis now. And this is without the military situation. So I told you guys, anarchy and chaos is coming. And it is. I will keep you tuned on if anything like that really, we get pictures and stuff. There was also 5 helicopters were going to fly across different areas in Oregon and spray. And I think it was really going to happen. And then somebody leaked it and they decided not to. So you guys watch, no matter what state you're in, for helicopters flying and spraying stuff. Yeah, not good. And we don't know what the hell they're spraying. And healthcare sucks. Over and out.